So, our featured article is Meet Your Neighbors. And we always highlight a family. That family is on the cover. You can see right here each month. And it talks about who they are, where they're from, the favorite teams that they follow, what their kids do for sports. And the residents love that because you just want to know about your neighbors. What I love about it is there's nothing amazing that's going to have them in the newspaper of Charlotte, but it's important to the residents of the community because we want to understand who they are and what commonalities we have.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Ashley Grimm. She's the owner of Stroll Ballantyne Country Club magazine. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, excited to have you. So Ashley, why don't you start? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So we have a hyper local publication here in Charlotte called Stroll. There are 10 strolls in Charlotte and really hundreds throughout the country. They're all in affluent, desirable neighborhoods. Specifically, I own the one in the Ballantyne Country Club, South Charlotte. And it's a unique publication here.
Yeah. Tell me more about it. What makes it unique?
So all the content is written for the residents of the neighborhood by the residents from the neighborhood. So it really resonates with the readers and it keeps it engaging and people love that.
I love that. So tell me more about how you found yourself getting into Stroll.
So my husband and I have been in advertising for the last 14 years. We have worked for big media companies and we've seen the pivot from print to digital. We've been in that world and we thought this was unique. We thought that you really can't place yourself in a hyper local publication very often and have that type of content to a neighborhood. So we thought this would be a great fit.
That's really interesting. And talk to me about how you're able to get the magazine in the hands of your readers.
So it's mailed out monthly. It's mailed to the residents of Ballantyne Country Club. And there are 10 in Charlotte. So it's all neighborhood centric. So they're mailed to the people in the neighborhood every month.
That's fantastic. And you mentioned, it's primarily in affluent areas. So, are you a franchisee? Because you mentioned there's hundreds around the world. Well, the hundreds around the world, listen to me. Hundreds around the US, maybe around the world someday. Hundreds around the US and 10 specifically in Charlotte. So a franchisee?
You got it. Yep. Franchise of specifically the Ballantyne Country Club one.
Love that. So, talk to me a little bit about the different articles that are often in Stroll. Like, what are the different topics that people write about?
Great question. So our featured article is Meet Your Neighbors. And we always highlight a family. That family is on the cover. You can see right here each month. And it talks about who they are, where they're from, the favorite teams that they follow, what their kids do for sports. And the residents love that because you just want to know about your neighbors. What I love about it is there's nothing amazing that's going to have them in the newspaper of Charlotte, but it's important to the residents of the community because we want to understand who they are and what commonalities we have. So that's one feature. We have precious pets. So we feature pets of the neighborhood. We have young achievers. We have athlete of the month. We have neighborhood news, events that have gone on. So really about the residents in the neighborhood, events, pictures, all of that.
Oh, I love that. And how would someone go about, trying to be included in the magazine?
So we have resident reporters
Yep.
in the neighborhood that gather content from the neighborhood. Specifically, I'm a member of Ballantyne Country Club. I know what's going on. So I'm like in the know of the type of content that readers want to see. But we have resident reporters too, and we all kind of work together.
I love that. And I imagine too, during COVID, when families were so separate, I imagine that segments and, pieces like that in the magazine were really helpful for neighbors to build that sense of connection, build that sense of community in a time that they weren't able to do that. Am I right in thinking that?
Absolutely, especially people who have moved into the neighborhood during COVID and really couldn't go out there and meet anybody, but they can see what their neighbors, who their neighbors were, and where they're from, and connect that way.
I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
So you mentioned, you and your husband purchased this the Ballantyne Country Club. Talk to me about what the growth for you has looked like over the past few months.
So we really worked with the residents to understand the type of content they're looking to see more of, right? And really concentrate on that. Are working with a lot of different sponsors and partners from, all types of contractors that want to get in front of those residents in the neighborhood, to spas, to restaurants, to fitness, all types. And really we work with them as partners to include them with our residents and have the residents understand their stories and their background as well, keeping it all community centric. Hmm.
I love that. You took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say, like, it sounds like there's such an emphasis on community, building community and fostering that sense of interpersonal relationships is, what makes Stroll so successful.
You got it. And that's really why we were so interested in having our own stroll, because you can't find that very often nowadays.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I completely agree. So, thinking about common misconceptions, you came from the digital advertising kind of world, you said. Talk to me about, whether it be in your previous life, in digital advertising, or, now working with Stroll. Are there a lot of common misconceptions that you hear often?
For advertising for partners, advertising is tricky right now. You have to be strategic with your budget. You have to understand what works well for your business. And what I could say is, if you have the right message going in front of the right people that you are trying to get in front of, that's the first goal, right? And then that's where you're going to find the conversions faster. And that's what I tell everyone, because advertising nowadays, there's so many different places to advertise. That's the one thing I hear all the time, my whole career. What do I do first? Where do I spend my money first? I'm going to this conference, they say social. I'm going here, they say, video. What do I do? Well, just focus on your message and getting in front of the right people, and then you can't go wrong.
Mhm. And it sounds like you're really able to do that now, taking your expertise from digital advertising. You're able to take that experience and you know how to put yourself in front of the right people, make it localized, build that community with Stroll.
You got it. And I really try to be a coach for the partners too, and just, have them utilize us and our knowledge from our previous life to navigate through the advertising world, not only with Stroll, but with anything else that they could be doing out there as well. I can just offer some insight. Mhm.
I love that. I love that. And going back to the readers and consumers of the content with Stroll, do you see it's a lot of families, a lot of individuals? Like, kind of talk to me through who you tend to see interacting with Stroll the most.
I mean, all the residents are, the community is young, all ages, but a lot of young families in publication. And then in terms of our partners, we have all different verticals, all different types of businesses that partner with us. They either have to be close to Ballantyne Country Club to pick up that, the clients from the neighborhood, or they just want to get in front of that club themselves. So yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
That's great. That's great. Well, Ashley, this has been a great conversation. As we start to wrap up, is there anything that you want to leave our listeners with?
Um, this is something that's unique in Charlotte that I think a lot of businesses would benefit from. And a misconception is advertising is expensive. We really work with all types of budgets, and we really try to help you navigate your way through. So we could help you in many different ways, and we'd love the opportunity just to have a conversation.
I love that. I love that. And hey, starting a conversation is one of the best ways to build community too. Just starting off saying, "Hey, how can we work together?" Open arms. Looking forward to working together and building that sense of community even more within the Ballantyne Country Club community. So, Ashley, this has been a great conversation. I appreciate you being on Business Ninjas today. I'm looking forward to staying in touch and watching Ballantyne Country Club magazine grow.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. Thank you for having us.